After months of intense military posturing across the Gulf threatening all-out war, US and Israel leaders now eye sophisticated new economic pressure tactics specifically targeting Iran's vulnerable economy. President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu agreed to dramatically intensify suffocating economic pressure strangling Tehran's vital revenue streams, Axios exclusively reports. During Netanyahu's critical White House meeting this week, the US President and Israeli PM urgently discussed coordinated action strategically extending far beyond rhetorical military threats alone. Primary economic warfare target remains Iran's critical oil sales flowing exclusively to mainland China, representing a staggering 80% of Tehran's total crude petroleum export revenues annually. US national security strategists calculate precipitous drop in Chinese oil purchases would inflict devastating economic strain, rapidly crippling Iran's sanctioned, struggling economy. Defense officials darkly argue successfully choking off these vital oil revenue streams could paradoxically push desperate Iran toward militarily blockading the strategic Strait of Hormuz choke point. This aggressive economic offensive receives powerful legislative backing through President Trump's sweeping new executive order explicitly targeting nations actively conducting commerce with Iran. The authoritative order strategically empowers the Secretary of State to recommend crippling tariffs reaching up to 25% against any sovereign nation brazenly violating these strict economic sanctions. Regional security experts urgently warn this bold economic escalation risks directly complicating America's already dangerously tense strategic competition confronting expansionist China. These punitive tariffs could catastrophically threaten U.S. urgent bids securing alternative rare earth mineral supply chains alongside planned high-stakes diplomatic summits scheduled in Beijing. However, President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu confront fundamental strategic crossroads debating whether any comprehensive nuclear deal with Iran could realistically be trusted long-term. Netanyahu adamantly insists absolutely no diplomatic agreement with Iran possesses credibility, since Tehran systematically violates every solemn international commitment made historically. Meanwhile, President Trump remains cautiously hopeful pursuing negotiated solution merits serious attempt before resorting to inevitable military confrontation, senior sources confide to Axios. Trump reportedly consulted trusted Middle East envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, specifically assessing realistic odds successfully reaching durable comprehensive agreement with recalcitrant regime. Both experienced envoys candidly warned Trump striking workable deal remains extraordinarily difficult bordering on strategically impossible given Iran's documented negotiation bad faith. Next critical diplomatic step arrives February 17 when U.S. senior representatives expected convening Iranian delegation for pivotal high-stakes session hosted in Geneva, Switzerland. Latest intelligence reports intriguingly suggest Washington proposed pragmatic temporary suspension Iranian uranium enrichment activities spanning 3 to 5 critical years building trust. This economic escalation unfolds precisely as U.S. Navy confronts operational setbacks during Caribbean deployments unrelated to Iran crisis but highlighting readiness challenges. Admiral Daryl Caudle said, and I quote, "I think the Ford, from its capability perspective, would be an invaluable option for any military thing the president wants to do. But if it requires an extension, it's going to get some pushback from the CNO. And I will see if there is something else I can do. I am a big non-fan of extensions. I'm a sailor's first CNO. People want to have some type of certainty that they're going to do a 7-month deployment." This comes as a 21-year-old Marine tragically fell overboard from amphibious assault ship USS Iwo Jima, operating in the strategically vital Caribbean maritime theater. The young Marine declared officially deceased following exhaustive 3-day multinational search across vast treacherous Caribbean sea waters yielding no recovery. Marine Corps leadership confirmed the soldier's untimely death marks first confirmed U.S. military fatality, directly tied to ongoing Operation Southern Spear counter-narcotics mission. Curiously, Venezuelan strongman Nicolas Maduro's government helicopter mysteriously landed aboard Iwo Jima, before his compelled transit onward to New York under mysterious circumstances. On February 11th, a U.S. Navy-guided missile warship catastrophically collided into accompanying Navy supply vessel during routine at-sea refueling evolution gone critically wrong. 2 sailors suffered reported minor injuries stemming from this high-profile collision incident, U.S. Southern Command spokesperson confirmed to BBC international correspondents.
25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.